All right, buddy. So what's your name and where you from for the people that haven't seen you in the previous 2 episodes that we've done already?
Yeah, they call me JD. I'm from the southeast Los Angeles area, city of Norwalk, from a gang called Criminals Norwalk area or Criminales. Been in and out of the prison system since the early 1990s, all the way up the California state system up into the federal prison system when I finally got out, 2017.
Yeah, and you told your story already once. I split it. We talked for a good amount of time, and I split it up into 2 episodes. And I'll leave the links pinned in the comment section and the description for y'all to go check out those episodes if you want as well, to kind of recap on him as a person, what he's been through, how much time he did, and stuff like that. But you were running with an organization, SURENO, correct?
Yeah, I'm SURENO, but as you can, probably tell from the video, I'm white. But I mean, I'm not.
You said that. I was expecting you to say something else, man. That's funny. All right.
Yeah. But I'm not really unique in that regard. I mean, there's been a lot of white homies over the years, dating all the way back to the old days.
Yeah.
I mean, we can even get into like the bigger organization. One of our big homies, or a couple of our big homies. One of them's rest in peace. We're white dudes.
Yeah. And
it's not uncommon for SURENO gangs to basically recruit outside of basic run of the mill Chicanos. I mean, you got Salvadorians they're considered Salvadorian. They're not considered Chicanos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Filipino gang members. You got Armenians. You got all kinds of people that are up under that SUL umbrella.
Yeah.
And it's for us. It's just all about it's just a gang thing, man. That's why I seen a couple other people you talk to. I seen this other kid who does a channel, the kid out there in Florida, the end of sentence kid.
Yeah.
He's a blood. I mean, nobody can expect anything different from somebody who is raised in that environment. That's how you're gonna run. I mean, it's just like you're not gonna go up in the system, like I said in the last one, defending some guy from somewhere far, far away that ain't done nothing for you against your own homies. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So in the West Coast, it ain't no different for us in a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of people get it misconstrued. A lot of people think that everybody in the California prison system is racist and this and that. And I mean, I've addressed this before. A lot of the culture and the mentality nowadays, as you know, it's very soft, man, very, very emotionally unstable. And a lot of these people, they're so caught up in this political correctness mentality, they don't understand that the racial aspect of the California prison system was something that was put into effect in like the 1960s as a result of a lot of social change. So there was a lot of animosity and a lot of
they had the riots
turmoil
out there in LA and all that stuff.
Yeah. So you had a lot of dudes that were formerly like Black Panthers and stuff like that going up into the California prison system, and you have large populations of one race. They're always going to victimize and terrorize the lower population of a different race. It doesn't matter how strong they are or not. So what originally happened is a lot of these ethnic groups in the California prison system had formed together to form their own little groups, and that's how like prison gangs that you hear about in California. You got like the AB, Black Guerrilla Family, Nuestra Familia, stuff like. Even the Texas Syndicate was started in the California prison system.
Have you ever seen someone of a different race or color or whatever join the Aryan Brotherhood?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Really?
And anybody who's interested, you can go ahead and look at your history. That one of the old members of the Aryan Brotherhood goes way back in time, was a guy named Crazy Horse, and he was Native American.
Really?
And he was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. I can also tell you this much. that at least 4 members of the Aryan Brotherhood right now, a couple of them are deceased, but they're Jewish.
Yeah, I knew that. But I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
has ever been a black guy part of the Aryan Brotherhood or something like that? It's something similar to like a white guy joining a Blood or a Crip. You know, has you ever seen anything that dramatic of a change? You know what I mean? Integration, I guess.
Nah, because I mean, I don't think it would ever happen that a black would join the Aryan Brotherhood any more than it would be for a white dude to join the Black Gorilla family. Ideologically, and the message and the movement's foundation and platform are just 2 totally different worlds, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I would, yeah.
You never know. You know, that's why I thought I'd ask. Because, I mean, there's always that, astronomical chance that you might have seen something like that in prison.
But there was a black dude that used to do some work with, like, you know, with the big homies, you know, our big homies way back in the day. They used to call him Slow Joe. And I mean, this is an old convict from way back. I don't know where he's got to be dead by now, but this dude was involved with a lot of big homies back in the day, you know, and a lot of his own people didn't like him, but he was accepted in a lot of circles by a lot of different people because he was one of them guys. He was like Red on Shawshank Redemption, you know. He could just get shit done. He can move around wherever he needed to move around. So he had it like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. All right, let me ask you this, man. And I'm going to ask a few people, like I said, I'm going to ask a few people that I'm going to be having on the show the same exact question. How do you feel? Because I've had some people on the show that have dropped out, okay? They have went to the penitentiary. They dropped out because they said, hey, I don't want to deal with this gang shit no more, all right? And they came on the show, they tell their story, and believe it or not, a lot of people in the comment section actually uplift what they're doing. They say, okay, you're doing the right thing. That is the right thing, you know, but I want to hear your input, man. How do you feel about individuals that say, hey, you know what, and they drop out because they don't want to be a part of it no more? Not because they did something, have crazy charges, or they did something stupid and got tricked up. I'm talking about solely because, hey, I don't want this life no more. How do you feel about individuals like that?
Well, being the criminal justice reformer and prison abolitionist that I am, I don't hold that kind of thing against them. I don't lose no respect for somebody that did that. I don't look at them any differently, because I got to tell you, man, there's a lot of hardcore killers that are on them dropout yards. Yeah. Like some straight stone cold killers that are on them yards. That'll carve you up and cut your ass from A to Z. Yeah. If given the opportunity, if they're put back into that corner. If somebody wants to change their life, and somebody, you know, there's only one way in and one way out. If you're inside, I mean, if you get out, you can get out and do good, you know. But if you're still up in the system and you just don't want no part of it, you want to do good, you know, maybe you're a lifer, you want to get a parole date, maybe you want to be a family man, maybe you want to, maybe you decide to turn your life over to God, whatever religious idea that you follow, then I don't look at you any differently. It's like, it's really not up to me. That's an individualized choice. The problem I have with people when they drop out is it's these kind of people that they wreck their career, and then they go up into the SNY yard and start reforming all these different little prison groups like 2-5 and Independent Ride and all these other various different GBGs and all that. And it's those people I have an issue with, because like you basically got banged off the yard. You got ran off the yard because you made a bad call, or you got your ass in debt, or you told on somebody, you did something. Now you're on the SNY yard, you know, trying to pump out a brand new kind of politics. And to me, I don't think that's fair for the people that are on that compound that are trying to do the right thing, you know? Yeah. But I don't have nothing against them. It's just like if somebody dropped out and I was to bump into them on the streets, I wouldn't be nothing to me, because once we get out of the prison system, pretty much all bets are off. It's just it's all gang politics at that time, you know.
Okay.
It's not prison politics. We unite in order to. It's a mutual understanding and a shared power in the struggle, and to basically be able to defend from predatory behavior and people that might try to take advantage of you. You don't have that when you have a strong, solid car where everybody has each other's back. But when you're on the streets, it's different. So if you dropped out on the inside and I see you on the streets, I'm not gonna think nothing of you. I'm not gonna try to like kill you or nothing. I mean, I'm not even into all that stuff anymore anyways, because I mean, I'm older now and you know, I've learned a lot of lessons and I've suffered a lot of loss and a lot of things that a lot of people, a lot of homies. I just lost another homie the other day, died of cancer, you know?
Yeah.
So it's and then we got another homie who got blasted not too long ago. So it's just like, for me, if you choose that, then and you do it for the right reasons, then you got no choice but to respect it.
Yeah. But some people don't, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but check this out. Those same cats, and I'm speaking on this from experience. Those same cats that talk or woof all that shit about somebody who walked off the yard or left the yard or whatever, chances are 90% of the time, them fools are going to be walking off the yard or getting banged off the yard down the road themselves.
Yeah. It
takes a real gangster and a real man and a real person to basically hold all these morals and values inside. And it's like, if this dude went out, he decided to leave the yard and he left without indicting nobody or giving up any information. He basically just told on himself, you know. Yeah. He basically just said, this is who I was, this is what I did. Because that's, you know, a lot of these debriefing processes, which in the California Code of Regulations, we call it the Title 15. The debriefing process is all about exposing yourself. If the dude wants to, you know, go and expose a whole bunch of other people, I don't got no respect for that. But if he just wants to get himself out, then, you know, good luck to you, more power to you, and I hope you don't ever go back to prison.
I know that's right. It's a good answer, man. And now let me ask this. And I hate to ask you all these tough questions because, believe it or not, they are tough questions. But you being who you are now, okay, what do you think? And this is just for people that come out of prison and need to know what the hell they should do. You know what I mean? What would you do if something were to happen? Let's say you get robbed and you know who did it, okay, right now in the streets. Let's say someone robbed your house and you know who did it. What would be your best approach to handling the situation?
Somebody robbed my house?
Yeah.
Well, I know it's probably going to shock you and it's probably going to shock a lot of people, but I'll let the law handle it, man.
Yeah. I know that's right.
I'm just keeping it real. And I really don't care what any of these internet soldiers, these little trolls get on here and got to say about them.
Hey, look.
I mean,
hey, speaking of trolls, what the hell? Hey, what was going on in the last bit? Hey, that was a good answer. I called the damn police too, man. Someone robbed all my shit. I'm going to get it documented. And then, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm going to file my insurance and I'm going to get all that shit right back. If you don't file a claim with or file a police report, you ain't getting no money for it from insurance. So, I mean,
well, let me explain it to you like this, bro. So I find out who robbed my house, right?
Yeah.
I get out there and I get up into my beater and I go down there and I mob down his block. Rush up on this fool, beat his ass. Take my stereo back, take my Xbox, my PlayStation back, all that. Have him loaded up in my car while I'm kicking him in the ass the whole time, right? I drive back to my house. I don't even pull into my driveway. The cops are swooping up on me.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going back to jail. But, hey, at least I could tell all the fellas I got my stereo back. Now Sancho's in my house, all up in my old lady, sleeping in my bed and listening to my stereo and playing my Xbox that I had to fight to get back.
Man, that'd be rough.
Think about that for a minute.
That'd be a tough situation, my friend. But yeah, that's the best way to explain it. You'll be on a one-way trip back to the penitentiary, and some other guy, Jody or Sancho, is going to be playing that PlayStation under your account. Under your account, man.
Hey, or it's gonna be, or it's like I said, it's gonna be Nacho. I don't know if you ever heard of Nacho, but that's kind of like a West Coast thing. Nacho's that guy that says "Nacho woman no more," Nacho Xbox, Nacho car, and Nacho house. It's mine.
I know that's
You know what I
right, man. Well, look, we were talking about trolls, man. We were talking about trolls.
Yeah.
What's going on? Hey, what happened in the last videos, man? People were like, "Man, this dude, where is he from?" You know, and I was a little confused because I didn't know what to put down, man, because you told me the location. I put it down, and then I had a bunch of people saying that ain't so-and-so. Tell me about that, man. And tell me how you feel about these fools talking in the comment section.
Well, I'll explain a couple things about that. First off, I mean, the thing about me is I was born in Bellflower, California. That's southeast Los Angeles. I was born and raised in southeast Los Angeles, North Orange County. So I've been running amok all through the city of Norwalk, city of La Mirada, city of Buena Park my whole life. Buena Park is North Orange County. That's the part. I used to mix it up with all kinds of different people. Never really got committed to a particular neighborhood or gang or anything like that until later on. Until I found some real solid dudes that I knew I could trust with my life. And I clicked up with them and I banged that. And it just so happened that our little neighborhood was in the city of Norwalk. I mean, we were so small, man. We were practically considered like a 5-man gang. And a lot of my homies, what they had done is when I got locked up and a lot of our other homies were gone, they clicked up with another video that was in Norwalk called Neighborhood. That's the name of the hood right there. It's called Neighborhood. And my homies all got into that. So it was kind of like I just got out of the gang, the banging thing for a while. So whenever I just let anybody know, I say, yeah, I'm from Southeast LA, because I'm like a nomad, man. I just roam around all through the whole area,
Yeah. But people were saying it was what? What were they saying? It was Orange County or something?
Well, that's those people that live in smack dab in the middle of freaking Idaho or something like that, or Iowa, that don't know shit about California. All they got to do is pick up their phone and hit Google Maps, and they'll see that Orange County and North Orange County, southeast Los Angeles are right up to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, goddamn, man, we live in the age of Google and shit, and it's like, how do people not Google that and find out some kind of geography? I mean, these are the kind of people that should have been in school when they were out there doing that dumb stuff,
Yeah, the commenters can get wild, man. They speak reckless. I feel as though they give the channel some character.
Yeah, and I think so too, because I was laughing my ass off at all that, but every now and then you got to throw them a bone and let them know that they're still that little nerd kid trapped in mama's basement, And it's just like a couple of them come to mind that, I'm not gonna get into all of them, but you had this one guy, I guess his name is Stay Strapped.
Uh-huh.
And this guy
I've seen that before, I think.
Yeah, he went into a whole CSI Miami breakdown of, well, he said that he took the strap wrap for his bigger homie, but they should have ran the serial numbers on the gun and all that. I don't know what kind of X-Files and shit this fool's been watching, but what I was trying to say is that the car was my homie's car, but it was actually registered to his mother,
Yeah.
But it's still his car because he's the only one that I ever see driving, and his mom, wasn't driving nowhere.
Yeah.
And and they didn't we're talking back in the early 90s, man. Wasn't nobody busting out some big old giant book of serial numbers to run every single gun in LA.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely.
Come on now.
Yeah, the whole serial number process has definitely stepped its game up since then.
Yeah, I like how he broke the whole thing down. The whole theory that I think he should really try out to get a job at the FBI or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'd make a good CSI investigator.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand or they don't listen that well because they would have known that you were doing time. You were speaking about a time that was obviously years ago, but I understood. Well, since you were seeing a bunch of comments in the video and stuff like that, Did you see any kind of stuff saying any kind of hate or ill will towards you for claiming what you claim? You know, saying who you're riding with and stuff like that. Was anyone giving you any shit about that?
I'll tell you this, man. I actually got some real love from a norteño that was watching, you know, and
Really?
it's like I said before on here, and then somebody's like, "Oh man, better watch out. He's showing love to the norteños." Well, there's a peace treaty going on right now in the California prison system
Yeah, I've been
between
hearing a lot
North
about
and South.
this.
So whoever's saying that, they're a little behind in the times. But anywho, yeah, you know, it was just like I don't have no ill will against them. I mean, I was in the back in the shoe with a lot of them in different places, and a lot of them dudes are very disciplined, very well, very respectful, you know.
I mean, what do you mean respectful?
They speak very like respectful to everybody. Like they don't really talk shit through doors or anything like that. You always know, like there was this one cat, he was in a cell next to me, and I think that he was from, damn, where was he from? He's from like Stockton or something, right? Or no, what was it? Yes, he was from Stockton, and we used to talk all the time, you know, we used to talk all the time, and it was all good, but we knew if the doors cracked, it would be a different story. But he's always like, and the rest of them are like, hey, you know, lean over into the thing and be like, yeah, buenos noches, JD. All right, buenos noches. You know what I mean? Or yes, sir, no, sir. How you doing this morning, sir? They use sir a lot, you know?
Really?
And yeah, and they're disciplined with that, and it's like they won't disrupt your workout when you're on the tier, and there are times where if you're fishing on the tier and you get stuck somewhere, there's been times where they'll fish it in and send it to you. They won't intercept it and spin on it, break it, throw it away, flush it, talk all kinds of masa or calling people bad names on the tier. They're very respectful when it comes to understanding that there is a door and a wall that separates you, and unless you're the Incredible Hulk, you're not going to be able to break through that wall or that door. But if the door cracks, it's a different story. It's a respect level like that. It's and we give them the same kind of respect. But you got other groups that go up in there, they don't have that kind of mannerism, you know.
Yeah. If you were to go back to the penitentiary, you think you would have any problems, man?
No, not at all. I left on good terms out of the California Department of Corrections, out of Chino. I paroled straight out of Chino. I actually didn't parole out of Chino. I maxed out my parole and released out of there with no more paper because I kept absconding and going all over the country, and they would find me wherever I was and extradite me back. And whenever you get extradited back to California, you end up in the Sacramento County Jail. Don't matter where you're from, you're going to Sacramento. And I got to tell you, man, Sacramento County Jail, it's wild. And the first time that I went up in there, that's like Norteño capital of California. There's like they're everywhere up in Sacramento because that's way up north.
Yeah.
And you go in there, and for us, I mean, I can't go in there and tell them I'm this, I'm that, and start showing them all my tattoos. They got to find that out for themselves. I mean, that's just the way we roll. So I knew that right off the bat that they were going to probably just automatically assume I was just a regular white dude and throw me into any holding tank. I was already ready for this. I knew it was coming. And sure enough, the first time I went in there, I walked in there and there was a couple of Norteños in there, and I took off on one of them, and they all took off on me. And you already know it's not going to last long before that deputy's coming to the door. But that's what it was for me. And they pulled me out, and they're like, "What's up?" And they see my tattoos, and they're like, "Why didn't you tell us you're a SURENO?" I'm like, "Well, you already know." So they sent me upstairs to the SURENO module, and upstairs in the Sacramento County Jail, the unit was all Sureños and Crips, because the Crips, like the Bloods, pretty much dominate that county jail. So the Crips were walking in the same unit as the homies were.
On the main line, that doesn't really Crips don't really jive with them, correct?
Well, the Bloods and the Crips are kind of like they're their own thing in the prison system. Like they'll go to war with each other on numerous occasions. They all across the board, all blacks pretty much have had like a long standing treaty with Norteños for a long time. But that ain't always the case, depending on like what black gang we're talking about. I mean, if you got a large amount of Crips from Los Angeles, they might not be so inclined to want to back up Norteños in every single circumstance. But it's just it all breaks down to like where you're from in Cali. Everybody thinks Cali and it's just all one big thing. But Cali's broken up into 3 sections. You got Central California, which is all dominated by Bulldogs. And it's kind of a mixed bag between Norteños and Sureños right there. Northern Cali, that's all Norteños. And you got Sureños that are up there too. And Southern California, that's all just straight Sureño all the way through. True blue all the way through from Bakersfield all the way, Ventura County, all the way down to the Mexican border.
Let me ask this, man. When you stepped into new cell blocks or new units, there wasn't ever times where the white dudes rolled up on you and like, "What's up, man?" First before anyone. I mean, you would think that's how it would roll, right?
It happens. It's happened before when I just walk into a certain unit or something like that. They'll roll up on me, but I'll quickly tell them, hey, I'm a homie or something like that. But if I roll right up into because I'm gonna roll right up into one of my own people's cell,
Yeah.
So if they see me, I roll up into that cell, they're gonna automatically know right off the rip that he's one of them white Sureños. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just leave it at that. They don't get disrespectful or nothing like that because, the whites and the Sureños have had a alliance forever.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you might be sharing the battlefield with all kinds of skinheads that got bolts and Swazis and everything all over them, and that dude may be the one that saves your life from somebody running up behind you with a bone crusher.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. It's just like, for a lot of people, it's, the prison system it's like I said before, it was set up that way because of predatory behavior.
Yeah.
And
it's a numbers game.
Got
numbers game, man.
And I could tell you from experience, and you heard it from the one guy on Free from Fredder's Grove, right?
Yeah.
Told you when he was in LA County jail. You've heard it from other dudes, and one white dude rolls up into 9500 because that's where I went. I went straight up into the war zone, and it's just like if you're like one of the only white dudes in there, man, it's all bad. They're already pushing up on you, and it's solely because your skin color. So racial, I hate to break it to a lot of people, like I said earlier, but the racism is dished out by every people,
Yeah.
And in the prison system, especially, if you got one race that's more powerful than the next, in a lot of cases, they're going to exert that dominance and try to run things, try to take over stuff, try to put all their people in various different job positions and stuff and exclude you from everything. And that's why they have the politics in California, so that don't happen. So everybody knows their lane.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where their lane is. And when somebody steps out of that lane and they can't resolve it through diplomacy, then that's when the riot happens.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be happening. And I believe it will sooner or later, but you got the YouTube channel going, and you're dropping content. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out his channel. He served a lot of time in California, his prison system, and in the feds. He has a wealth of knowledge, and he's out here doing a good thing, man. And I salute to you, man, for doing everything that you're doing, especially helping the youth the way you're doing. Just keep at it, man, and just keep in touch. I'll bring you back on the channel for another update here in a few months if you're still around.
I'll still be around. I ain't going nowhere. Well, I like doing the YouTube channel because, a lot of these characters that are out there trying to like perpetrate this gangster lifestyle give me a lot of material to run off of. Like one of my first ones, I did it on Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy right there. I mean, I would have loved to seen him walking down the street in my neighborhood back in the 90s.
Yeah.
After we were done laughing at them, we wouldn't have known what to do with them.
Yeah.
Looked like something landed straight out of outer space, right onto our streets, you know. But it's just like, in don't misconstrue the message on Prison Break Raw. It comes off raw, shock and awe. It's like that old school scared straight shit. And I bash a lot of these kids' role models and stuff to let them know that, you're not going to get the same kind of treatment in the prison system that they're going to get. You're not going to get to go all these sweet spots and everything. If you role model these people, you're going to end up in the system at some point in time, and it ain't going to be pretty, man. I mean, the prison system sucks.
Yeah.
And if I could make some humor out of it, and while also giving you some knowledge, that's really the whole approach of Prison Break Raw, to basically give you that shock and awe, give you the knowledge. I mean, we don't only clown on Tekashi 6ix9ine and stuff, but we talked about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sure you heard about that guy in the news.
Yeah, I choose not to go down that route. It can get deep. It can get deep, my friend. So I try not to dive into those subjects where it could have an endless amount of damn endings or theories. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I've definitely got some input I could say about that individual. Well, look, I appreciate you coming back onto the show and give me a little update, give me a little more wisdom as to the whole California DOC. And if anybody wants any more information about stuff like this, like I said, go check out his channel, hit him up on his Instagram, and I'll leave the links to all of his stuff pinned in the comment section and in the description of the video, man. But like I said, I appreciate you coming on to the show. Got anything else you want to say before we dip on out?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Instagram, author JD Rutherford. You can find me on YouTube, JD Rutherford, at JD_Rutherford on Twitter. You can find my books, Dear Mom, Dear Son, Separated by Bars, Not the Heart, and An Imprisoned Mind, available on Amazon.com and Amazon Kindle.
Yeah, and those books sound very interesting. As a matter of fact, I think a few people that from my channels actually bought a couple. I don't know. I know someone said that they did. A couple people said they did. But yeah. I'm not on your end, so I can't really tell how you would tell, but that's what they said, at least. I'm gonna send you a couple of copies to them. Before I leave, I'd like to send a couple of shout outs though. Yeah, man, go right ahead, my friend.
First off, let me get a shout out to all those deathomaniacs out there. They're like your foot soldiers, man. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have to touch any of them trolls, man. They were lighting them up. They were bucking them down for it. You know what I mean?
Hey, salute to all my deathomaniacs out there. That's a good name
all
for them.
You deathomaniacs, salute to all of you. Want to give a shout out to my homie, Little Aztec. He's over there in Honduras right now. Hey, much love, homie.
What's up, Little Aztec?
Yeah, give a shout out to my homie, Silent, who's out there. Whole bunch of you whammo. Give a shout out to my homie out there, Mario. You know who you are. That's the Plastic Man. He knows what I'm talking about if he sees this.
The Plastic Man.
Billy Gomez.
Got that
all
name.
of you out there. Yeah, Stephen Bobo. All these people that I work with in criminal justice reform. My administrator for my Facebook group page, Nancy Molinari. All of you, just want to tell everybody that I love you. If I didn't call out your name, doesn't mean I ain't thinking about you. I love all of you. Love all my JD fanatics just as much as I got love for all my deathomaniacs.